In this ever-changing life, it is undeniable that alongside our advanced knowledge and ideas of how modern human civilizations, there is still existence of outdated prejudice and misconception which hinders the development of society. Discrimination towards Black people, in particular, and indigenous population is a prime example of them. Though we are fully aware of its existence, ages ago, the racial inequality is still one of the most debatable worst issues.
To be more specific, on the history front, differences in biological traits, considered to be the main basis of the interrelationship between race and rank in society, were primarily exploited to serve as proof of categorizing humans into different social classes. Starting from the 16th and 17th century, the colonial domination of Spain introduced a new colonial social structure in the New World, where the purity in bloodlines became an uppermost principle. Victims of this regime were the Indians and slaves expelled from Africa. In the New World, the term black man was synonymous with enslaved members with identity as the lowest status groups in society.
From the late 18th century to the early 19th century, the ideology of racism witnessed a dramatic flourish. After the American Civil War, the outbreak of racial riots and Black American terrorism by racist extremists took place in many separate states of the USA. Charles Darwin, an eminent naturalist at that time, presented his famous theory on development and natural selection. This doctrine later became a solid argument for racism, and it demonstrated the scientific side of the concept of racial superiority, established and supported the dominance over Black people on the African continent. The next century observed plenty of extreme forms of racism, from the racial hatred of the Nazi regime in Europe, the institutional racism of the apartheid regime in South Africa, or the genocide of old Yugoslavia and Rwanda. The message against discrimination has long been conveyed through different kinds of media, among which films and fiction stand out the most. Critics have been singing the praises of the courage of those who dare to portray the harsh and severe faces of the world we are living in, with all the discrimination existing to such extent that it can be too disgusting to be put into words.
One of the most well-known works about this matter is 12 Years a Slave, a 2013 biographical period drama film and an adaptation of the 1853 slave memoir 12 Years a Slave by Solomon Northup, a New York State-born free African-American man who was kidnapped in Washington, D.C. by two conmen in 1841 and sold into slavery. The movie received many positive reviews, and as Matthew Lucas said, too often has slavery's horrors been whitewashed in popular culture, but here, alas, Mark Queens lays them bare through the eyes and words of a man who experienced the unthinkable. The movie itself gives an inside view of the undescribable that the Black had to endure through an unflinching way of narrating, yet still enough to house the audience for days. The discrimination retraced in the movie has succeeded in ringing the red alarm about the cruel situation the Black were put in. The problem of racism has recently worsened due to the death of George Floyd, a Black American citizen. A white policeman knelt on him for over 8 minutes, despite the begging of Floyd, and he passed away in the mourning and wrath of public. His death marks the beginning of many anti-racism rallies around the world, which are held by thousands of protesters and received massive coverage. Although the marches are inspired by the death of African-American George Floyd in police custody, they also highlight the mistreatment and marginalization of indigenous population on a global scale. Banners reading "I can't breathe," "Justice for George Floyd," "Black Lives Matter" are held high above the heads of protesters. They chant "Black Lives Matter" while demonstrating and protect each other from the sudden attacks of police.
Reading an extract from The Guardian, lives like George will not matter until somebody pays the cost for taking their lives, said the civil rights advocate. The Rev. Sharpton in his eulogy. Celebrating the passion of the mass protest, he added, "All over the world I've seen grandchildren of slave masters tearing down slave master statues. we can see that racism is not just about a real life or a video of some celebrities supporting the rights for all humans, but it requires a massive change in the worldviews of many generations.